Reckon it'll be a long walk to the capital if we follow the cliffs. I'll scout ahead, see if I can't find us an inland route.
You didn't mention Torgal's coming.
Clive.
He's an important part of this party.
Mm-hmm. There's something I've been meaning to ask. You took her icon, didn't you?
That's a very personal question, Joshua.
Yes, I did.
I'm your older brother.
She understood.
Shouldn't be discussing these things.
Oh, she understood. Understood that you decided to save the world all on your own, and that you'd die without her power. How dare you make her choose? You knew damn well she'd never refuse you. But I will. You can't keep pushing us away, Clive. The world is ours to save, not yours.
I used my gift because I thought it was the right thing to do.
And you truly believe this will save you? Will save us all?
I do.
Then so be it.
What is it? What is this good guy, bad, or good cop, bad cop?
Just don't forget,
Joshua.
you're not alone.
Think I found us a trail. Did I miss something?
Did you punch him in the face?
Only that Joshua didn't.
Okay, that was an extremely...
I don't get it.
That was an extremely odd scene. Why? I get what they were going for, but something about that just didn't land right. Like, I feel as if the punch was a bit much. Like, maybe he should have just, like, pushed him or something. Like, the punch was a bit insane. How do you punch him square in the face? I mean, granted, we're all, like, super-powered humans, so a punch doesn't really do anything. But, like, punching your brother in the face after not seeing him for, how long? 15 years or whatever? Like, we've not seen each other for so long, now we're back together and saving the world and everything, and I just have a slightly different decision on how we're going to save the world, and instead of just talking to me about it, he, like, punches me. And then immediately hits me with the good guy, like, so you do think that's going to save the world? Like, that was weird. I don't know. Something about that just felt weird. Maybe it's just me, but the tone was off. Like, the way that he punched him and was like, how dare you? And then all Clive said was, I thought I did the right thing. And then he's just like, oh, okay. Like, imagine if you were in an argument with your significant other or something, or you're in an argument with your brother, and you're genuinely extremely upset with them, right? So upset with them that you punch them in the face, or maybe because this is exaggerated because we're superhuman, let's say you push him. You're so mad at your brother that you physically push him to the ground, right? And then their only response is, I thought I was doing the right thing. Would that immediately take you off your pedestal of being frustrated? Like, would that immediately lower your anger levels down to the point where you're, like, joking around and you're like, okay, never mind. Haha, nothing happened. You know what I mean? Like, the tone is just weird. Like, if he was that upset, Clive simply just saying, I thought I was doing the right thing would not... it was almost like there needed to be more dialogue there. Like, we needed a moment where he explained himself more. and then Joshua finished his thought and said more, and then like came down. It was too quick between him being here and him being here. You know? Like it was fine. I'm just saying, like, the tone was weird. And then how, like, right afterwards they smile at each other, and then he's like, just that Joshua didn't miss, and then Joshua was like as he was walking, he was like covered his mouth. Like, that was funny. Like, how did we go from genuine, like, he was not just angry, he was raged. He was enraged, and then like, hee hee, funny joke, within the span of like 10 seconds. Also, he doesn't really even know Jill. Like, I don't know. I'm not even really that sold that he was angry, but I kind of get it. It's fine. But like, well, okay, they did kind of grow up together. Yeah.
Always wanted to visit Ash.
That makes sense. No, that makes sense, because they grew up together. But Jill was obviously closer to Clive than she was to Joshua. But no, I get it. Yeah, no, that makes sense. That makes sense that he would be upset there. But again, either he needed to be less upset or he needed to commit to it more. Instead, it was this weird middle ground where he was like Superman and then suddenly okay with it.
We're in Waluda territory now. Don't expect a warm welcome.
Okay, so we can still leave, right? Alright. So let me save here, just in case. I mean, given the way this game works, I seriously doubt there's going to be any kind of like...
I don't know, Clive. That castle over there looks inviting enough.
Shall we sample its inhabitants' hospitality?
Oh, I'm sure it'll be great. I'm sure there won't be like a point of no return or like a... Like, it'll be obvious about it. And then once we finish the game, we'll probably be able to come back. I don't think it's going to be like... I need to have separate saves or anything, but just in case.
Remember what I said about warm welcomes, Gav?
Oh, this place is as dead as Grieger's ghost.
Also, it does seem like Joshua knows more about our gift, which is interesting. Like, I think he knows more about it than he's let on. He's trying to decide if Clive's gift should be the thing that saves the world. I think it's happening. I think what's happening inside Joshua's head is he's trying to decide, should I let Clive control all the icons and save the world on his own? Or should we try to save the world without him having to do that? Kind of like Final Fantasy X-ish, where Titus is like, should I let Yuna save the world or should we do it a different way thing? I feel like that's the confrontation going on in his head right now. He's trying to decide what to do, but he's keeping it to himself at the moment. But it seems like he knows more than we know.
I knew I smelled something.
I see only orcs and Akashic.
Let's hope the villagers don't get out in time.
Ow. I didn't know what that was. If it was like a bomb or what. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Oh, if I knock someone over and then use the blizzard thing, I think it brings them to me without picking them up. So I can get finishers that way. Like if I do this, and then this, then I can do a finisher. That's cool.
Waken winds!
Also, how's it going, Kylio? Sorry, I was distracted. Hope you're doing good. Also, thank you guys so much for all the subs. Green Spectre, Assassin, Dead Popstar, Iridan, thank you so much. I had a great vacation. Best part of my vacation, I got an iced coffee maker at a garage sale. And it's pretty great. Kind of excited about it. I knew Zuloff was gonna get mad. Listen, it's great because it takes less everything and it's sweeter without sugar. So I don't have to like load my coffee with sugar now. So it's healthier. Because I was getting worried about how much coffee I was drinking because I have to put so much sugar in my coffee because I like sweet coffee. It takes less water, it takes less coffee, it's quicker, it's easier to clean. It's honestly pretty fantastic. The only downside is it doesn't make as much, and you can't make like a big pot, you have to make each individual thing. But other than that, it's pretty great. I think I'm gonna just throw it in every once in a while. Or maybe even more commonly than my hot coffee. But I'll drink both, that way it keeps it fresh. I don't have the same exact cup of coffee every day, I can switch it up. No, I hate black coffee, I can't drink it. I've tried, I can't do it. Can't do it. I like it too sweet, but then I have to use so much sugar that it feels like I feel it feels bad drinking any more than like 2 cups because of all the sugar I put in my coffee. And if I drink it all week, I feel like I've said so much sugar. Also, I was excited about it because I got it for $10 and it's like 35. It's like a $35 coffee maker. I got it for $10 because these guys bought it new and then got married, and someone got them a iced coffee maker for their wedding. So it was like a brand new one that they were just trying to get rid of. It's the kind of great stuff you find at garage sales when you're lucky. I love going to garage sales on vacation. I always find the coolest stuff. I don't know what it is, because it should be the same as garage sales here, but for some reason I always find the best stuff when I'm on vacation. You guys would make fun of our vacations because we always go garage sailing. And we always go to Walmart on our vacations, which is like the silliest thing to do on vacation, but I swear it's like the most fun to go to a Walmart in a different state and just see the different stuff they have. And also when you go to Walmart normally, there's all this cool stuff, but you don't want to buy any of it because you're like grocery shopping or just, you know, there for something else. But when you're on vacation, you're not there to buy anything specific. And you're on vacation, so you're more inclined to buy things, so you actually end up buying like fun stuff instead of just what you need at Walmart that day. There's definitely going to be some kind of hunt here. So, you know, normally you go to Walmart, you're like, oh, I need gas or something. I need a... Oh, what is going on here? What is it? Oh my god, it's a hunt that I didn't know existed.
Oh, look. It's the king of the castle.
Huh. Woo. Well, this is fun. And I have people to help me with it, too. Oh my god, you can teleport. Yeah, you know, normally you go to Walmart and you're like, oh, I need cheese and I need Drano and I need etc., right? But like when you go on vacation, you don't need any of that stuff. You're just kind of going around looking at fun stuff. And you end up buying like cool stuff. Or not. Or you just go around looking at stuff, but oh my god. Firing my laser. Yeah, no, it's fun. We went to Mayer, which is like Michigan's equivalent of Walmart. But it was funny because they also had a Walmart across the street. So I don't know what that was about, but we went there and found all sorts of stuff that isn't normally at our Walmart. At our Walmart, I realize how much our Walmart blows. Like, our Walmart is terrible. Every Walmart I go to is way better than our Walmart. Has way more stuff. We need a new Walmart. 83,000 damage. Dude, this guy's got some stuff going on. He's doing some things.
That's better.
Oh, I frostbit him. Woo!
Nice try.
I'm out. Uh-oh. Did you do it? I killed him. I killed him with a little 65 damage poof. Oh, the stained loincloth. Let's go. We got it. Look at this description for a stained loincloth. Modesty is not a trait that comes to mind when one thinks of an orc, so it is a mystery why they bother to wear a loincloth at all when the thin straps of cloth only afford nominal protection and leave naught to the imagination. There are some scholars, however, who argue that they are vestiges from when the creature were more civilized and serve as proof of a devotion of the species, de-evolution of the species.
Your reign is at an end.
I can't believe they did it, but they actually came up with like a paragraph long description of a loincloth. Now we just need some rogue's hose. I wonder if I should go back and... I mean, the thing that I could make with those wasn't even worth making. But I guess I could check it out anyways.
The stew's awful.
Trouble with your gear, or...
Yeah, there's not enough stained loincloths in my gear. Can you fix that for me? Okay, here's the problem, though. This takes an orichalcum. Which I need for my ultimate weapon. And this thing gives me 4 HP and 15 defense, which is a complete joke.
Anything else?
So I'm not making that. Thanks, but no thanks. Maybe if I get another orichalcum. Hello, Nectar. Are you telling me about the hunt I already did, or is there another one? You're just telling me about the one I already did. That was cool. I like how it waited to tell me about that one until I already got here so I could accidentally run into it. Oh, trust me, I will. It's not yet.
Let's go. Fly, Ambrosia.
So I'm not really sure how Ambrosia got here, but I guess we won't question it. In fact, we had a whole Chocobo gang.
Don't get surrounded.
Excuse me, gentlemen. They really follow me all the way here? Let me in. Stop jumping, you doofus.
It's Camber all over again. Where the hell are the royalists?
Seems you were right about that welcome after all, Clive.
Spooky cave.
Aye, aye.
Why does Gab always get on all fours?
Is the whole of Ash fallen into Ultima's hands?
That's no peace delegation. We should send a warning to the others.
No. My uncle will have an eye on the coast. I trust he'll find a way to entertain any uninvited guests. Our mark is Drake's Spine, and there's a lot of road between us and it. We press on to Stone here.
Aye, you never know. It might not be a nest of slavering monsters.
Clive, you must go on ahead without me. This stronghold is as old as Phoenix Gate, perhaps older. It may yet hide Ultima's remaining secrets, and if we are to best him, they must be unearthed.
All right. Stay out of trouble.
I always do. Mostly.
You sure about this?
About leaving my brother on his own. Of course. Mostly.
I expected...
Lady Vivian's map is so old it's hard to tell which way is up. But if I'm right, we're not far from a village called Eastla.
Then we make our way there, resupply, and wait for Joshua.
I'm confused. Okay, first of all, I expected more pushback there. Because there was that whole scene where Clive was like... Well, not just a scene, but pretty much the whole theme up to when we found Joshua was like... It's my fault that he died because I was supposed to be his shield and I wasn't there for him when he needed me most. And then when he finally came back to him, he was like, I'm gonna be your shield and protect you for real this time. So I figured the first time we had to split up, there'd be this moment where Clive would be like, the last time we split up, you died. So we're not splitting up. But instead he was just kind of like, okay. But perhaps he figures there won't be much danger there. Or perhaps now that he knows that Joshua didn't actually die, he's... Yeah, I mean, to be fair, Joshua didn't actually die. He almost died, but he didn't actually die, so... But yeah. No, I expected there to be a moment there. I think we all kind of did. Expected there to at least be like a... Hey, wait. And then Joshua would respond with like, don't worry, I'm fine, you know. Just some kind of interaction there.
Get it, boy!
I don't want the treat. I want the pet.
You all right, boy?
Thank you. The second thing I don't understand is if we're splitting up so that I can get to the crystal quicker and he can go figure out the secrets of Ultima, why are we going to wait for him in the village? Isn't that the whole point of us splitting up, that I can get to the crystal? What if I'm going to wait for him in the village, why don't I just go with him? The village is straight this way. If it was like here, and he went this way and I went this way, and then we met up here, that'd be one thing, but it's due east. So it doesn't make any sense. He's going out of his way. We're just going to be sitting here waiting for him. Why not just go with him? Also, this is called the Angry Gap. I like that. Yeah, no, that feels a bit more like we didn't want to make that dungeon, so we're just going to split up. Or something.
Ugh, this place reeks like a mobile's arsehole. Though I'm guessing it's not the smell that'll kill us.
Oh, it's the crabs. Every area must have crabs. How many Final Fantasies do you have to play before you stop looking for sense in the plot? 17, apparently. I see a big turtle. It's over here.
Silence! You're finished!
Where's the other bird? What the? Gab is just over there crab hunting. There's something over here. Hello. I forget how to menu. It's worse than my weapon. That's so dumb, dude. Like, for the love of God. This is like a unique weapon. Give it some kind of unique ability. Give it something, literally anything. Make it do more stagger damage. Give me any reason in the world to equip this. Instead, it's just a completely useless item. What a waste. Ooh, ice. What a total waste. The equipment system is so trash. How's it going, Blue Island? Alright. Rhyme and Mesmerize. Slay an enemy frozen with Cold Snap. Evade an enemy with Cold Snap, inflicting Permafrost. Hit 3 enemies with Rhyme. Hit 2 enemies with Mesmerize. Punish, Precision Dodge, Ability Finish, Multiburst. Guys.
It's over.
I will admit, Rhyme is pretty good for small enemies. Okay, got that.
It's over.
All these bugs are gonna suck. I don't have my Garuda abilities. Ow. How dare you. Stomp. Stand still. Yes, instantly banned. There you have an opinion. No, I very much enjoy...
Nice try.
That's why I enjoy Final Fantasy, is that everyone has very different opinions about the series. That's what makes Final Fantasy great. It's unlike any other series. Other series, it's like, oh yeah, Uncharted 1 is good, 2 is the best one, and 3 is good, and 4 is okay, and almost everyone agrees with the same exact thing, whereas a group of Final Fantasy fans, you can be in a group of 100 Final Fantasy fans and they'll all say something different about every game. That's what makes it exciting, that's what makes the community fun. Anyone that's not willing to listen to other people's opinions in the Final Fantasy community, you don't belong in this community, because it is a very divisive game series. That's what makes it interesting. That's what is exciting about being a part of this community. I didn't get an ability finish. You know, that's what makes it great. That's what makes it interesting as a series, is that everyone has their own opinions about the games and everyone's so opinionated about it. It's fun to talk about. It's fun to hear why people like certain games and dislike other ones, and that's what makes it great. And that's why it frustrates me when I hear people say stuff that's like, you know, alienates them from the community because they just want their own opinion. It's like such a shame. Because that's what makes Final Fantasy great. Ice Age, Mesmerize. How is that not? Precision dodge. There we go.
It's over.
Like, I think if you alienate yourself from the Final Fantasy community because you like 8, 9, and 6, and those are the only ones you like, and all the other ones suck, then you're like totally missing the point of Final Fantasy in general. And that's just like a shame. And to get mad at other people for their opinions on the series, you're totally missing the point of the series, that all the games are completely different, and some are for some people and some are from other people, but overall we can all appreciate the series as a whole.
Farewell.
Like, I think if you are the type of person that comments on a Final Fantasy X video and says Final Fantasy X sucks, only 1 through 9 are good, and if you modern Final Fantasy, you know, everyone should hate modern Final Fantasy and I hate you because you hate modern Final Fantasy and only the retro ones are valid, then you're not a Final Fantasy fan. Now, if you only like the retro ones, that's fine, but to put other people down because of the ones they do like, you're not a real Final Fantasy fan if you do that. You're just someone that wants to be stuck in their ways, and wants to be volatile. You're just someone that wants to be different and get in a confrontation. It's like I said, that's the whole beauty of Final Fantasy, is that all the games are different and not all of them are going to please you. Not all of them are going to be perfect for you. There's going to be some that you like and some that you don't like. That's the beauty of it. To say anyone is less than a Final Fantasy fan because they like different numbers than you is stupid. There's some series where it's like, yeah, you can be a fan of one of the games and kind of not into the other games and just kind of remove yourself from that community and only focus on that one game's community. But with Final Fantasy, the beauty of it is that we can all appreciate all the games and appreciate what we like and what we don't like. And if there's a game you really don't like, you can talk about that with people that do like it and talk about what you like and what you don't like and what they like and what they don't like, and that's what makes it an interesting conversation. If you only like 7 and you only talk to people who like 7 and you hate everyone that likes any of the other games, then you're just alienating yourself from a great community and being an echo chamber. That happened. It's crazy, but I see it all the time. Being the Final Fantasy VII guy, but also doing Fantathon and playing all the games and talking about all the games, I get a lot of people that are, this isn't Final Fantasy VII. This isn't turn-based. This sucks. People that like this suck. And, you know, like I said, there's a big difference between people that just like the retro Final Fantasies, which is totally fair, and people that outright, you know, hate people who like the modern games. That are constantly trying to get into arguments and saying that people aren't true fans if they like anything past 10. That's the thing I don't like. If you only like the retro Final Fantasies, that's not only valid, but, like, I totally understand why. Because they changed quite a bit after, I would say 10, but some people would say 6 or 9, but the game's changed a lot, and if you didn't like that change, that's totally valid. If you grew up with 1 through 6 and then you played 10, you'd be like, this isn't the Final Fantasy I grew up with. That's 100% fair, but... And even to be mad at Square Enix for making that change is fair. But actively, you know, being volatile towards other Final Fantasy fans, when instead you could be having the conversation of, this is what I don't like about modern Final Fantasy. And then hearing their opinion on why they do like modern Final Fantasy. That's the conversation you should be having, not, oh, you like modern Final Fantasy? I hate you. You know, you're not a true Final Fantasy fan if you don't only play 6. You know, like, that's not the conversation we want to have. We want to have a, I hate modern Final Fantasy and this is why. This is why modern Final Fantasy isn't as good as modern Final Fantasy, for these reasons. And then hear what they have to say about why they actually do like modern Final Fantasy and what modern Final Fantasy does right. Even if they do agree with you that retro Final Fantasy is better, talking about the things that modern Final Fantasy does do right is a good conversation to have, and stuff that could be implemented into games that are similar to retro Final Fantasy, like Octopath Traveler. You could take stuff that this game does well and put it in Octopath Traveler and create a more retro Final Fantasy experience with some of the stuff that Square Enix has learned from the new Final Fantasy games. But, you know, I guess some people think that Square Enix could just release Final Fantasy VI over and over again forever and somehow support their multi-million-dollar, global company. their mobile company, their video game company, their movie company, everything that they do, all the brick and mortar stores they have, all the millions and millions of fans they have, all of the different games they have being created at once, all their whole fan base, the thousands of people they employ, they can pay all those people just by releasing 6 over and over again. The same as that game with no difference. Like, no, they have to make new experiences that people of this generation enjoy. Unfortunately, as much as I would love to tell you they could just make Final Fantasy VI 2 and everyone would buy it, you know, I hate to tell you this, but more people are going to buy this than Final Fantasy VI 2. Sorry. More people are going to buy Game of Thrones Simulator than some old game that most people of this generation have not played. I don't remember this guy. Is he new? Oh! Okay, this guy's got the magic. But yeah, I'm gonna have a lot to say about this when I do my review of this game, because I really want to get into, like, you know, the future of Final Fantasy and what Square Enix sees in Final Fantasy, you know. And how they are trying to bring what made the old Final Fantasies good into a game that can make them enough money to where they can continue to flourish. Dude, the move is insane. The stagger damage it does is just unreal. That's not what I meant to do. Oh, I have Rhyme. I thought I had the other move. Should have limited, but I don't really need it. Can I not freeze him? So we're kind of just chilling until we get Diamond Dust back.
Nice try. Nice try.
Booyah. Hold on, I want to catch up on chat. Been watching a Final Fantasy X run for Fantathon while you were away, and I'm really enjoying it. Dude, the Final Fantasy X playthrough was so much fun. Like, if you dislike 10, or if you like 10, I really recommend, if you get the time, to watch my 10 playthrough, because it's like, I definitely put my heart into that playthrough and talking about why it's special to me, and I think it's a really great kind of way to show that even if you don't like a game, it can still have meaning to some people. And that's what's so great about Final Fantasy. Like I said, you can hate 8. Like, you played 8 as a kid, you didn't get it, you think it sucks. You played it again as an adult, you still don't get it, you think it sucks. But you can appreciate someone that did play it and did really connect with the characters and connect with the story, or connect with the mechanics, or just something about it, you know, that meant a lot to them. And that's why, like I said, that's what makes Final Fantasy great, is that they're all character driven plots. So if you can find a character that you really vibe with, it can become great to you, even if it's not great to someone else. So yeah, I read a story in the book over here, the Legacy of the Crystal book that I was in. The story from the man that put that together. And he said that he was talking about Final Fantasy XI and how much it meant to him. And Daryl is his name. I was trying to think of his name. Daryl. He was talking about Final Fantasy XI and how, because like me personally, I don't really like Final Fantasy XI a lot. I did enjoy my playthrough of it and our Fantathon playthrough of it, but overall, I would say it's one of my least favorite Final Fantasy games. I didn't like it when it came out because I didn't like the idea of Final Fantasy being an online experience. I thought that it kind of ruined the whole idea of Final Fantasy, and how you have this group of characters that all have their own plots and have their own reasons for fighting and have their own stories, and they all have to come together to save the world, and how their different stories and themes and personalities clash during the quest. That's kind of what Final Fantasy is to me. And making it this MMO just didn't fit with that. Like, it just didn't, to me, it just wasn't Final Fantasy, right? So as a kid, I always thought 11 was stupid. And then when I played it for Fantathon, I got a much bigger appreciation for it. But at the same time, I still had these same issues with like the story just not really being there and not really being a Final Fantasy feeling game. So anyways, I read this story from Daryl, in that book about how when Final Fantasy XI first came out, he talked about how he had no idea what an MMO even was, and he just kind of jumped into it. And just kind of the way his life was going at the time, and I think he was in college at the time, and really looking to find a community that he fit in and stuff. And then he jumps into this MMO, and he had no idea like what MMOs were about. And there's all these super, experienced players that came alongside him and helped him learn the game, because the game is like super difficult for beginners. Like, it's very difficult to understand how to play it. And there's like no tutorials, not even nowadays the tutorial's pretty rough, but back then it was even worse. And all these experienced players came around him and helped him figure out the game, and he met all these really great friends through the game, and it gave him the feeling of a group of strangers working together to save the world, in the same way that a normal Final Fantasy game gave that to me. You know what I mean? So in the same way that like Cloud, Barrett, Tifa, Aerith, Red 13 come together to save the world, in his instance, all these different people from around the world with different backgrounds and different personalities and stuff came together to save the world. So in a way, it was the same kind of thing, but with real people instead of characters. And I read that and I thought like, wow, that's really cool. He got out of the game what I was missing. And although I can't go back in time and have that experience, it makes me understand more of why people love 11, and why, even though I'm not a big fan of it, I would never go into someone's chat playing 11 and be like, this game sucks and you suck and how could you like it? And, you're not a real Final Fantasy fan for playing games like this. Go play 6. I would never be that way, because I realize that some people have these experiences that I've never had, and all the games are so different and so unique that everyone's going to have their different list. Everyone's going to have their different personal feelings on all the games. So that was just something I thought was really cool, and made me think about the series in a different way. And before Final Fantasy XVII is turn-based. Yeah, it's going to be really interesting when I make my review of this game, because, well, not this game. When I finish Final Fantathon and I do a review of all the Final Fantasy games and rank them, it's going to be tough, because I have to take into account everyone's personal experiences. And, when I make the final ranking of all the games, I'll probably have to do it in more of an unbiased way of just, this is the way the game, the mechanics of the game, the graphics of the game versus other games and on its time, what people thought of it when it came out, what people think of it now. Like, I'm going to have to take a very unbiased take on all of the games, because if I try to implement everyone's personal feelings with the game, it's going to be impossible. All of them will be the best game. It'll be a 15-way tie for first place, because everyone has that game that was special to them, Yeah, it's going to be difficult. It's going to be very difficult. Also, that accessory isn't really that great, because Diamond Dust is more of a stagger ability than a damage ability. But how's it going, Siki? I love those pictures. Wait, can you not ever do this again? That's a shame. I mean, obviously you can do the harder version, but it's a shame you can't do the easier version again. I'm still baffled by the fact that I just picked up the Masamune and I can't even use it. I mean, I could use it, but there'd legitimately be no reason to. What a shame. How's it going, June? At the Hideaway, you get a harder version that you can do as many times as you want. But it would have been nice, like just a nice little bonus if you could do the easier version again. But it's just a one and done to unlock the kind of real version of it. Because it's worse in every way. So I'd be a fool to equip it. I could equip it just for the look and just for the meme, but it's worse in every way, so unless I want to just be worse for no reason, I'd be a fool to equip it. To be fair, the stats you get from the weapons hardly matter, so I could equip it just for fun, because the weapon's below anyways, but... I just can't get over this. Like, it's such a unique weapon. How could you not do anything different with it? How could you not just give it more stagger? Like, even if it's worse than the Ragnarok, fine. But how is it not 300 attack, 320 stagger? Like, literally just anything to make it different. And you can't tell me that they weren't willing to do that, because they did do it with this weapon. With the Enhancer. The Enhancer has more attack than stagger, so they were willing to do it, but only with that one weapon. No ability, not even like, oh, it reaches further. Like, literally nothing. Just a complete waste. How could they not make it reach further? What a joke. I don't want to fight you birds. I don't, dude, it just blows my mind. They even had specific weapons that matched the icons, but they don't make your icon abilities do more damage. That truly blows my mind. They had a fire sword, a wind sword, an electric sword, and they were just regular stats. They didn't even say like, oh, it makes your electric abilities do 5% more damage. No, nothing. It would have been cool if they did literally anything. It would have been cool if X put literally anything there. It would have been cool if, like in Kingdom Hearts, when you attack enemies with different weapons, they make different sound effects. If I could hit something with the Manamune and it went plonk, 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 that'd be cool. It'd be cool if when I equipped the Manamune, if the game said I was looking nice today. Like, anything. Just give me anything. At this point, I'm just wishing upon a star. If the Manamune had some kind of special effect that gave me a seizure, I'd be upset, but also grateful. I'd be on the ground having my seizure being like, at least they did something! Thank you, Square Enix. This is spooky.
Bahamut's breath. Don't look down, Torgal.
That did not sound like Torgal. Can you surmise why they went this route with the weapons? It can't be anything other than dev time. I refuse to believe any other explanation other than they didn't have time. They made the game, they made the combat, Yoshi P did his thing, and then at some point somebody was like, we need some RPG elements or else people are going to be mad. And so they shoehorned in weapons and armor with just basic numbers that they figured wouldn't affect much, wouldn't affect Yoshi P's balancing. They probably lowered the amount of stats level ups give you, and they just gave you back those same numbers with these weapons that are very specifically placed for you to get at certain points in the game. That's why you get the icon weapons, so you could be right at the right balance that Yoshi P wanted you to be at. That's why you get, you know, either the Ragnarok if you do the hunts, or you get the Manamune if you don't do the hunts. That way you're never that far off of where Yoshi P wants you to be, so that the balance is right. And they didn't want to give anything, any abilities and anything like that, because they didn't want to throw off balance, and they didn't have enough time to come up with... But that's the thing. It wouldn't throw off anything. So it legitimately had to be... Oh, it's not even the Masamune. Did I say Manamune? No, I said Masamune the first. I think I said Manamune at some point. But no, they had that, like, there's absolutely no reason why the Ice Brand shouldn't make Shiva abilities do more damage, or any of these weapons have any kind of unique effects, or especially the armor. The armor, the belts and the van braces do the same thing. Armor and health. There's absolutely no reason why there shouldn't be a belt that gives you a bit of attack instead of health, or a bit of defense, or whatever. Like, it doesn't give you health, but it gives you a little extra attack. Or it doesn't give you health, but it makes Phoenix abilities do more stagger. Like, just anything at all. The accessories do stuff. There's no reason why these shouldn't do things. But they're just copy and paste the same equipment. They just wanted to have 2 equipment slots. And like, no, there's no explanation. It's just simply they didn't have time. They just decided not to do it. They decided to do other things instead of make the equipment do anything. Because like I said, there is one weapon that randomly has more attack. Granted, that might be a typo. I wouldn't be surprised. But the enhancer randomly has more attack. So some of these weapons should have more stagger, question mark. And, you know, it's really funny when you get to the quarter mark of the game and the game just gives you a weapon, a belt, and a van brace that are all way better than anything you've gotten up to that point. It feels like they didn't know what to do there, and they were just like, we need the character, we need the player to catch up here because there's going to be some tough battles coming up, so let's just give them these. And I mean, it fits the story because he gets the new look, but the amount that they're better is suspicious. It feels like they just, oh no, we're behind. We need to get the player back up to speed. What do we do? Here you go. Here's all this crazy stuff that's better for like the next 4 hours. You're not going to find anything better. And the fact that the pre-order bonus did nothing special. Instead, it was just slightly better than what you start with and ended up being worse within like 2 hours of gameplay. So they had no idea what to do with the pre-order bonus. And they're just like, you know what? You could just be stronger for the first couple fights of the game. And that's it. I mean, you could just tell. They just didn't... The RPG mechanics were the very last thing they implemented. The very last thing... The lowest amount of effort was put into that. They put all of their eggs in the combat story basket, which is fine because the combat and story are great. But that means, you know, we have every right to judge the RPG mechanics for being god-awful. And they really are god-awful. And they're what... They kind of shot themselves in the foot because this is why so many people are talking about, wow, is 16 even a Final Fantasy game, or is it just Game of Thrones? And, like, they have a right to say that because the RPG mechanics are so poor. And, you know, yes, it is a Final Fantasy game, but it's the least Final Fantasy it can be, at least with a lot of the mechanics of what makes Final Fantasy. So people have a right to be frustrated with that. Doesn't make it a bad game, but does make it a bit of a bad Final Fantasy game in a lot of ways. If you played other Final Fantasy games and you wanted to get the Final Fantasy experience out of this game, it would be tough to get it. You don't get that same strategy of equipping the right stuff at the right time, etc., etc. What does Bad Breath do? In this game, nothing. So there's no ailments in this game at all. No status effects, period. There's nothing like that. If you get hit with Bad Breath, you take damage, and then you take a bit more damage over time as like a fake poison effect. But that's it. It's still the same attack doing the same damage to you. There's no ailment, there's no curing it, etc. It's just a bit of damage over time. There are no status effects in this game, period. Well, okay, to be fair, there is like protect and stuff that the enemies can do themselves, but in terms of like ailments and healing them and etc., there's nothing. I wouldn't even call those status. They're more of like game mechanics. They're like an enemy being armored in an action game or something, like buffs. They're not even like ailments in the traditional Final Fantasy sense. Yeah, like augments almost. Because they're not accessible by us or accessible as like an ability. They're just specific enemies that do that specific thing, and that's their gimmick. How is my battery low? It's 12 o'clock. This controller is dying. They're augments. Okay, how long have we been playing? This is probably a good place to pause and get lunch. I'm pretty hungry, so let's get lunch and then we will continue.